Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hockey fans of all ages. Thank you for joining us on the fastest 15 minutes in hockey. So let's talk about another disappointing effort by the Sabres in a 4-3 loss against New York Islanders the other night. Before we get too far into that, let's take a look at today's action. So we've got 11 games today, including Buffalo's game. But yeah, the way things are going, we've got full schedule. A few games are already in the books. We've got the game that was in Finland, Tampere, Finland, between the Dallas Stars and the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers swept the Finnish European Series, winning, I think, both of the games they won 4-2. So, and then the Boston Bruins moved past the Buffalo Sabres in the standings with a 3-0 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers, who are still struggling. So, um, anyway, the rest of the schedule, we've got two games in progress. We've got the Blackhawks and the Kings. The Kings are up 2-1 in the third period. 15:09 left in the third. There, just going into the second period, the Capitals have jumped all over the Columbus Blue Jackets, scoring 5 goals on 8 shots. Nick Dowd got the last one. Alex Ovechkin scored. And don't look now, Alex Ovechkin's having a pretty good season. He's got 6 goals on the season so far as he moves towards closer towards Wayne Gretzky's record. So, uh, I'm actually looking forward to the chance that Ovechkin beats the record. I think it's good for hockey that one of those records falls. Now he's never going to get the full points points record that Gretzky has, because Gretzky, his assist record is absolutely insane. Um, but yeah, Ovechkin's working on it. So 7 o'clock starts. We've got the Kraken are in Ottawa to take on the Ottawa Senators. The Sabres, of course, taking on the Red Wings at 7 o'clock. Canadians taking on the Penguins at 7 o'clock. Penguins struggling as well, 4-7-1 on the season. The Blues and the Maple Leafs start at 7 o'clock. The Avalanche Predators at 8 p.m. At 10 p.m., we go to Las Vegas for a battle between the Utah Hockey Club and the Vegas Golden Knights. Utah's cooled down somewhat since their hot start. Vegas is still motoring along. The Vancouver Canucks take on the San Jose Sharks at the Shark Tank at 10 o'clock. And that is the end of the night. That'll probably be the second hockey night in Canada game, with Vancouver in San Jose to take on the Macklin Celebrini led San Jose Sharks. Anyway, let's talk about last night's game. It was a very much a disappointing game. Um, the defense faltered. Once again, this has been a recurring theme. And for all the roster changes that Lindy Ruff has been famous for throughout his career, every game has had the same 6 guys in the same 6 positions on defense. Now, defense is not just the 6 defenders. The forwards not coming back and back checking, and taking the third man in. The They're just as much at fault in the defensive woes of the Sabres, but Sabres are also getting caught in too many odd man rushes, and this happened in the game against the Islanders. Defensive woes plus Devin Levi. Oh, he was overplaying the puck, especially in that Bo. Well, it wasn't Bo Horvat. It was Bo Horvat threw the puck to the net, but he was overplaying. He was way out of position and was beaten back to the puck for the fourth goal of the night, which effectively sealed the game. Frustrating because the Sabres, continue to get back into the game somewhat, but yeah, it just wasn't enough. And they had better zone time. The game was fairly even in all the stats. Hits were even, including Jordan Greenway's absolute wrecking of Adam Pelech. That was one of the harder clean hits I've seen in a long time. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder. The only reason Pelech really got injured was the fact that his head hit the ice first and caused the concussion. He's listed as day to day. There's also the guy who got hit in the face. He's out 4 to 6 weeks now. So the sad thing is the Sabres skated for over half the game with the Islanders only having 4 defensemen, and we're not able to take advantage of that. So yeah, we had better zone time, but it didn't translate into goals. I don't think they went hard enough into the paint to really make a difference in this game, and that was one of my keys of the game yesterday was getting into the dirty areas to score. They get 3, goals from kind of, outside generated opportunities, including the power play goal by Dylan Cousins, which came off of a rebound from a point shot. Um, but yeah, it was just not enough. And again, Sabres are not putting together a 60-minute effort to be able to earn victories against teams they should beat. Teams that had, Matthew Barzal was out of the lineup, and you knock out 2 of their defensemen halfway through the game, and you weren't able to take advantage of that. That's just you gotta be able to do that, and, uh, they didn't. They paid the price for it. Another loss. And here's another concerning thing about the Sabres, and the same thing that happened last season is that, the teams that make the playoffs will lose. I mean, Toronto, how many, for the longest time, the Sabres had more regulation wins than the Toronto Maple Leafs last season. And it was from the fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs, when they lost, would get it in overtime, at least get the loser point out of the fiasco. Sabres are not doing that. They're losing in regulation. When they lose in regulation, and it's not good enough. And if they continue to do this, they're going to find themselves outside the playoffs. They're they we had poor start, a nice run here for 3 games, and now we've given back 2 games. Can they stop the slide, and keep it from going to 3 games? And this is an important game because they're taking on the Detroit Red Wings, who, are 4-5-1. They're tied with the Sabres on points, although ahead of them because they have one fewer game played in, their season. I'm sorry, Lucas Raymond leads the team with 1 goal, 9 assists, 10 points in those 10 games. And Alex Lyon has the best goals against average, 278 with a 9.6 16 save percentage, although we are lucky in not facing him tonight. 3 keys to the game. Again, tighten up the D. How many times do we have to say this? Tighten up the D. Um, the odd man rushes, the scrambly plays. It gets old when we continue to pay the price, and it doesn't seem like they're learning from their mistakes. Um, and Rasmus Dahlin really kind of, I mean, he had a good goal the other night against the Panthers, but he's had some really bad boneheaded plays lately, and I don't know, maybe he's not acclimating to being captain. Some guys can be captains. You don't have to have your best player be your captain. Like that's I don't understand why teams will put a top player as a captain. Usually the glue guys are not always the best, most talented players in your roster. Those are the guys you should be having as your captains, the ones that will hold people accountable. I don't know that Darlene is captain material. And we don't know what goes on in the room. Maybe he does hold people accountable, but he needs to hold himself accountable because he's been stinking it up lately and needs to get better. They got to be ready to skate. We saw in the game the other week against the Red Wings last week on Saturday, last of the 3-game winning streak. The Red Wings can skate. They can skate with the Sabres. The Sabres do have tons of speed, but the Red Wings are just as quick, and they've got just as good a defenseman as the Sabres. The Sabres need to be ready to skate for 60 minutes and give us that full 60-minute effort and then stop the slide. You can't we gotta stop putting these 2, 3, 4, 5 game, losing streaks together. You just can't make the playoffs if you continue to do that. Alright, let's take a look at the lineups for tonight per NHL.com. Red Wings forwards, we got DeBrincat, Larkin, and Patrick Kane on the first line. Andrew Kopp, JT Compher for Saber Alert. Lucas Raymond on the second line. And Jonathan Berengren, Marco Casper, and Vladimir Tarasenko on the third line. Michael Rasmussen, Joe Veleno, and Christian Fischer on the fourth line. The defensive pairs for the Red Wings, we've got Simon Ervitson with Moritz Seider, Ben Sherratt with Jeff Petrie and Eric Gustafsson and Albert Johansson on the third pair. We are getting a little bit lucky. We don't have we did well against Alex Lyon last time out, but Cam Talbot is going to be taking the Nets tonight for the Red Wings. Um, and both he and Lyon have 2 wins on the season, but Lyon has the better numbers. Red Wings scratches and injuries. Only one scratch, or yeah, only one scratch is Justin Hall, and then injured Tyler Mott has an upper body injury. Sabres forwards, we've got JJ Peterka, Tage Thompson, Alex Tuck, with Greenway, McLeod, and Cousins on the second line. And, I don't mind that line. It was on the on the power play, and Cousins got a goal last night. But if we can get Dylan Cousins going, that would be great. And it's good to see Dylan Cousins on the wing instead of at center. Then you got Peyton Krebs moving up to the third line with Jason Zucker and Jack Quinn, and then that bottom line with Malenstein, Lafferty, and Nicholas Ove-Kubel. Sabres defensive pairs, we've got Rasmus Dahlin, Henry Jokiharju, Bowen Byram, Owen Power, Matthias Samuelsson, and Connor Clifton. They have not changed one game this season. All 6 continue to skate, but not continue to skate well. And tonight's starting lineup, as I thought, the Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen taking the game here in Detroit, with Devin Levi backing up. There's been a lot of talk on Sabres forums and Sabres Facebook pages about Devin Levi. I I still think the real big mistake of this season right now is the fact that they tried to send Reimer through waivers and not send Levi down to be the starting goaltender in Rochester. There's no reason why they should have kept Levi up. Lukin intends to play better when there's not a dude that he thinks is going to push for his job. And Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen would not have been pushed by James Reimer. Reimer would have been a great backup, a B goaltender that comes in and spots you every 5 games or on a back-to-back night. But I just think that Levi is not quite ready for the NHL game. He needs to get, as a young goaltender and a shorter goaltender, those guys tend to, really overplay the puck. And while that might work at a NCAA level or a AHL level, it gets exploited at the NHL level. He's going to make some really good saves, and he has. He's made some really good saves, but he's getting beaten by overplaying the puck. And that's something you can work on at the AHL level. And I think as he gets comfortable at the pro game, he'll be much better at being much more comfortable within the crease and keeping his angles when he's playing in the nets. But Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen starting tonight, and hopefully he can keep the Sabres in the game with the Red Wings. Sabre scratches with no changes here. Kulik, Bryson, and Gilbert on the scratch side, with Benson with his lower body injury on the injury side. Tonight's odds per DraftKings: play responsibly. Buffalo is a goal and a half underdog. Over under is now back up to 6.5. It was 5.5 last night for the game last night. That got blown out. And then Buffalo on the money line at a minus 108. So yeah, with Buffalo, I hope you didn't take Buffalo either over under or take the over under under last night, or Buffalo last night, or you'd have been losing money. And this is why I don't gamble. On this date, November 2nd, 1984, Brent Peterson, Gilbert Perreault, Rick Sealing, and Phil Housley all had 3 or more points. Peterson had 4 points that night as the Sabres got an 8-1 victory over the Hartford Whalers. Rest in peace, Whalers. Let's take a look at the week ahead. We've got Tuesday night, big game against the Ottawa Senators, team that we should, the one of the teams that were outside looking in and looking to make a move, improve their lineup this year, and they're 5-5-1 this season. So it's a chance for the Sabres, if they win tonight, move past Ottawa in the standings. So it'll be a big chance for the Sabres, a big game for them, big early measuring stick against another team that's on the rise. Then we got a Thursday night game against the Rangers at MSG. That's going to be a big game because the Rangers are a beast of the of the Metropolitan Division. And then the Calgary Flames are in town on Saturday for a tilt. I'm not sure if that's a morning or a day game, or is that's a evening contest. I'll have to look, but Yeah, that's the schedule ahead. Our next episode is gonna be Tuesday night at 6 PM which is gonna be pre-recorded because I'm gonna be doing a big election special that night, so gonna, I'll pre-record that one earlier in the afternoon, for broadcast between the time that I record it and the time it's live, but, anyway, if you're so inclined and so enjoy politics, I'll be having a politics broadcast, a election night special on this channel following that broadcast at 7 PM Eastern, going on until probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But that's if you're so inclined to watch politics, I almost would rather watch the Sabres game, but, that's life, you know? Anyway, thanks a lot for watching us tonight. If you wanna become a co-host, reach out to me on socials. I'd love to have you come on and talk hockey, and if not, I hope you enjoy the show, and, we'll talk to you all on Tuesday night, and let's go Buffalo.